So what we're going to do here is we're just going to indicate the position of the following angles, noting the acute angle made with the horizontal. What we need to remember here is to measure an angle inside the unit circle, we always measure in an anti-clockwise direction. So this is going to rely upon the important angles that we memorized above. So let's give this a go. So 60 degrees, we know that's the same thing as pi on 3. So just make sure that you can go back and forth between degrees and radians in your head for these important angles. So that means it's going to be here. That's what it's going to be. 150 degrees. A way that you can think about this is that, well, it's 180 minus 30 degrees, right? So that means I'm going to be about here. That's where it's going to be. And I know that this here is going to be 30 degrees. So this is where it becomes helpful to think in terms of, all right, how much am I up from this part of the unit circle and such and such. All right, let's go on to the next one, 240 degrees. Well, this is where it's important to realize, well, I know that this here is 270 degrees, right? That's 270, that's 180, that's 90 degrees. So that means if I want to get to 240 degrees, it's going to be about here. I'm going there. So that right there would be 240 degrees, and I'm 30 degrees away from this vertical line there. Okay, let's keep on going here. Now I've got pi on 4. This is one that is really important just to memorize. Pi on 4 is 45 degrees. And I know that it's right there. Pi on 6 is 30 degrees. So that means it's going to be right there. 11 pi on 6. So again, this is where we're starting to think through things. 11 pi on 6, you know, that's very close to 12 pi on 6. I'm just taking off pi on 6 from it, right? And I know that 12 pi on 6 is the same as 2 pi, right? So it's just 2 pi minus pi on 6. 2 pi is right around. So it's just going to be here, all the way there. Because what's missing there, just this section here, that is going to be pi on 6. So just make sure you can think through where things would be based upon where your major angles are. So this is 0, this is 90, this is 180, this is 270, this is 360. So just constantly thinking through like that and you'll be okay. All right, how about negative pi on 4? Well, this is simply just negative 45 degrees, right? So if it's negative, it means that it's going clockwise now. So I'm actually going down that way. This right there, that's negative 45 degrees. Let's see if I can do that a bit nicer. Perfect, like that. What about negative 4 pi on 3? Okay, so negative 4 pi on 3, you could think in your head, well, what about negative 3 pi on 3 minus another pi on 3? I know that there to there, that's negative pi, right? So I need to go, because that's negative 3 pi on 3 is negative pi. I just need to minus pi on 3 from that. So it's just going to be a bit up. It's going to be about there. So it's going to be there, there. And again, what I did is I recognized that this right there, that there is negative pi on 3 degrees. So I'm just breaking up section by section to get where I need to go. So I figured out what negative pi was, and then to get to the rest of the way. Let me just rub out that blue, otherwise it gets a bit confusing. All right, 17 pi on 6. So how could we think about this? Well, what if I said 18 pi on 6 minus pi on 6? Now, 18 pi on 6 is 3 pi. Then I'm going back pi on 6. All right, so that's 2 pi. One more would be pi, because that's 2 pi. If I go one more, this would be 3 pi. But now I need to go back pi on 6. So it's not going to be quite there. It's going to be pi on 6 back. It will be, so it's still going to be one loop around, but then it's going to stop there. And this here is going to be pi on 6. All right, hopefully that is useful in terms of just thinking through these problems. So as always, the first thing that you might like to do when you're facing these problems is just remind yourself, you know, this is 0. This is pi on 2, or 90 degrees. This is pi, or 180 degrees. This is 3 pi on 2, or 270 degrees. This is 2 pi, or 360 degrees. And then from there, you can kind of think through these problems a bit more robustly. All right, hopefully you found this helpful.